Lights, camera, action.
Oh boy. Hey guys, I've been meaning to do a gear video for a while now, and every time I think I've got my gear dialed in, I make another change. But I leave in a couple of days, and so we're kind of at the final moments. So this is my mess, and I'll go through it as we go. I went with the Durston X-Mid, which apparently the bag is inside out, so you can't see. Oh, there it is. The X-Mid 2. The main reason with that is I originally planned to share a tent with my son. He has since decided he's not coming with me the whole time, but it does give me a whole lot of space, and I like being able to spread out. Also, after the fact, I will be going out with my husband a lot, and so it's just a little more space for future reference. We did go ahead and get the ground cloth that goes with it. So that's what I'm taking. It came with 8 stakes, and I added 8 more just because I'm really bad about carrying things, keeping track of things. So there's extra stakes in here because I will probably lose them. And then I went with the Thermarest Neo Air, the shorter one. I'm a side sleeper for the most part, and so it was plenty long enough for me. And if I do decide to lay on my back, I can just put my backpack underneath me to prop my feet up on. So I went with the shorter one, less weight, because I'm really weak and I don't want to carry anything more than I have to. I have a silk liner, Cocoon brand, I think. I've had it for years now, and it still does the trick, so that's what I've got. And then I was a hammock camper, and I'm not promising not to go back to that. If the tent and I do not get along, we may have my resupply man take care of sending me more stuff. But for now, I went ahead with the hammock underquilt. It is the Outdoor Vitals Airy. This one is a 20 degree. I don't think they make them anymore. At least I haven't been able to find one. Thankfully, I was able to buy a 0 degree before they decided to stop making them, or at least putting them where I can't find them. So I do have a 0 degree and a 20, but I'm gonna go with the 20 because it's a little bit lighter. And again, I'm a weight hog. A gram weenie, whatever you wanna call me. I did go ahead and get a Sea to Summit 20-liter compression bag because it works better with my backpack. I have the REI Traverse 60, and it has a side zip, and so I couldn't really do a normal liner and still be able to get to my stuff. So I put everything in waterproof bags, and everything is bagged instead of one full liner bag. It is currently outside being permethrin dried, and so I won't have it to share because I literally just sprayed it like 10 minutes ago, and it's still very wet. But that is the bag that I have. I guess that's it for tent stuff. I went with the very fashionable Crocs and the very useful carabiners to hook to whatever, hang them off the pack, as well as be able to use for guy lines or whatever I need to hang off my pack. My rain gear, I really went back and forth on this, and I'm really not sure that I like it, but it's what I have, and so it's what I'm gonna take. My jacket is a Columbia, it's a Frog Togs Light. It might be the ultralight, I'm not sure, but I'm still not 100% sold on it, but it's what I got. And it's a Frog Tog, so it's not that hard to replace if I need to. There's that. And then a long time ago, I made a homemade rain skirt that I could use as a ground cloth as well. And so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. Even though I have the ground cloth from here now, this is still gonna work as a duplicate for that. So sticking with that. And I hate getting my face wet, so this is my attempt at fixing that, as well as sun, obviously. So I will be bringing that At some point I may replace it with one that's got the mesh back, but for right now it works. A little bit of sentimental value, but for right now it works. And then there's also the amazing hiker box find. The first time we attempted the AT, we came across the Six Moons Designs Shadow umbrella, and I really debated bringing it. I really wasn't sure that I use it enough to make it worth the wait, but it really helps to run to the privy in the middle of the night instead of having to put your wet rain gear back on. A little bit of privacy if you have to do your business near people, and really good for sun when you're hiking in the sun. So went ahead and decided to bring it. I may send it home at some point, but for right now, I'm bringing that. Cold weather gear. I went with the very expensive, and now I can't even find the brand on it, but it's the Torrid jacket. And I love this thing. It is so lightweight, so compressible, so warm. I rarely get cold in it. And then my man Chapter bought me a hat. And then I also have, I don't know where it's at. It's probably in the backpack still. No, it's not. It's in there. The buff thing. Neck gaiter. There we go. That's also merino wool for winter. I just don't have it in with that. And then I really debated about gloves. I really couldn't find anything that fit everything that I needed, and I still don't know that this is it, but it works. So I went with the Leak Dry. They are a 3-layer glove. The outside, obviously for waterproofing, it does have the touchscreen fingertip things, and they are waterproof. So I'm using them for my rain gloves because I don't like my hands getting wet. And they're also warm, so they're my winter gloves as well. So I was pretty pleased to find something that would cover both of those bases because I like multiple things having multiple uses. So that worked really well, and I went with those. And then for my mid layer, I just have a Riders by Lee Walmart special shirt that I've had for a long time, and we tried a couple other things, and for the price, this works just fine. So we'll stick with that for now and see if I end up with it at the end of the day or the end of the trail. For long johns, I went with Merino Tech. These are the 150 layer for the top, and then I went with the 250 layer for the bottom, simply because I only have my hiking pants, a pair of shorts, and nothing else to put on the bottom, versus I have lots of things to add to the top. So I kind of mixed and matched to try to get the right base layers for that. There's the neck gaiter from, these ones for -33. For sleep clothes, I just went with Walmart branded simple athletic shorts, and then a tank top that I can wear. Again, Walmart. I am not a brand hog. Just so that I can hike in either one or sleep in. Socks, I've got Injinjis, 2 pair of Injinjis to hike in, and then a pair of Ibex merino wool to sleep in. I know I probably have an extra layer of long john or underwear that I don't need, underwear and bra, and I may end up sending one home, but until I get used to the funk of being out there all the time, it'll be nice to be able to put on a clean set of everything when I get to camp. So they may disappear, but for right now, they're sticking with me. And then to hike in, like I said, I've got the Injinji socks. These were the Brandwin bra and underwear, the merino wool Brandwin. And then I just went with a Walmart, again, Realtree fishing shirt, women's fishing shirt. And then a pair of even know what the brand is on these. I've had them for quite some time, but they are zip-offs, and so that'll give me another option for warm weather gear, I guess. I think that's all the clothes. I think. We'll throw those back over there out of the way. Trekking poles, Ozark Trail. You just get them through, I think we just got them through Walmart. We did get a new pair this year because we realized that we were short one for the family. And so instead of using my old pair, I just went ahead and grabbed the new pair. And then I had the Thurston X-Men is a trekking pole tent. And so they're multi-use, of course, because I like multi-use on everything, if I can get it. My first aid kit, like I said, I've got everything in bags, waterproof bags, except for my kitchen. But everything else is in waterproof bags, so I don't have to worry too much about weather. I don't have a lot in here. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I already have those in my other kit, so I could probably take those out, but we're not going to. Some Band-Aids, ibuprofen, Benadryl, acetaminophen, some charcoal tablets in case I get into something I shouldn't have got into, gauze, paper tape, cough drops, anti-itch cream. Bugs and I do not get along, so I do have a larger size than I'd prefer, but I have those in there. Antiseptic wipes, a couple of butterfly stitches, and some towelettes in case I need to clean off before I take care of whatever wound I managed to give myself. I had a whole lot bigger one, and I've managed to pare it down to this, and some of it I won't replace when I use it, but most of it will be replaced when I use it. Chapter was also kind enough to buy me a Garmin InReach. I wasn't going to go with one because I couldn't afford it, and he was like, you're taking one anyway. And so he's got the Garmin InReach 2, I think it was the 2, which needs 3, which needs to be charged, by the way. Good thing I caught that. So we'll shut it off and charge that. Slide that over to him. The Nightcore, I don't remember which brand or which one it is, but the headlamp. Honestly, I use my phone a lot. So unless I'm going to be doing something that actually needs, you know, like setting up the tent in the dark or something, I won't use this as much as I'll use my phone. But it does give me another option if my phone is dead or getting dead and needs to be charged. And I know a lot of people will take the strap off and just use like guy line or something like that. I am not that hardcore, so I will keep the strap. How did I end up with 3 power bricks in here? I don't know. I'm planning on taking a 20,000 and a 10,000. These are also the Nightcore, the Nightcore branded bricks. I think I will just use the 20,000 the first couple of, the first week or so and see how much battery I actually use. And I may just send the 10,000 home, but I would rather not be out there without power if I need it. So we'll see on that. I have a monster of a wall charger. That's the one that my kid picked, and that's the one we're going with. It does have 3 charging ports, so I can charge both of the bricks and my phone at the same time. And of course, enough charging cables to do that, as well as I can through charge from 2 of them. So I should have 5 cables in here, I think. Yeah, there's the other one. So 5 cables of various types to charge all at once. And then a couple of my items have, like my headset, I will be bringing the aftershocks. And so, or I guess they're just shocks now. So I have an adapter for that. I have an adapter for my watch, but it is not charging well at all with the adapter. And so I will probably end up just throwing in, just going ahead and throwing in my power cord. Unless, you know, because it at least is charging versus the adapter for some reason is just not wanting to work. And I have a micro USB, and I can't remember what that's for. I think it's probably for this. Everything else is, and a mini of the micro. Anyway, everything else is regular stuff, except for that. So I had to do that. And then I did go with the flex tail. I am not gonna sit and blow up an air mattress at the end of the day. I can't even blow up a balloon. So blowing up an air mattress every night just is not gonna be my thing. Oh, that was the other thing. I also have a Sea to Summit pillow that's in that bag somewhere, that this will also come in handy with to be able to blow that up. So that's my electronics mess for now. I'll have to remember to get that inReach back out the Garmin and put it back in. Yeah. So my miscellaneous bag is essentially a miscellaneous bag. I've got these because I am a woman. I've got these again because I'm a woman and have had kids. You can understand that one. My phone case, I do kind of wish I had something lighter, but I haven't really looked a whole lot to see what that might be. These are brand new, super bendy, really light glasses in case I do need to use them. I'm hoping I never will, honestly, but I did buy them specifically with the right prescriptions for this trip, and they are sunglasses, so they can tint. I can see that they're already starting to tint down. So there's those. I really debated which contacts to wear, and I finally decided that I would break down and buy the really expensive ones that are, you know, you can wear them supposedly for a month. But what I'll do is I'll put them in before I leave town, and then wear them, just add drops every night or whatever. Wear them until I get to town again. And then I'll take them out and I'll wear my glasses in town, or at least at night when I don't have to worry too much about getting up in the middle of the night and being able to see what's going around my tent. And that'll give my eyes a little bit of a break before I put them back in again to leave town. So I have, obviously I'll have a set in, and I have a set in case I need it, and then Chapter will send me more as I use them to make sure that I'm never without a way to see. Yeah. Little tiny cork ball. We used a bigger version of this after our hike this weekend, and it helped. So, Sea to Summit head net. I honestly don't remember if I bought this one or if I stole it from my mother, but that will come in handy when I get to up there towards Maine and the stupid black flies decide to bother me. Couple of hot hands because I am starting earlier in the season, higher north than I had planned. In fact, I'm looking at this going, yeah, 2 of these ain't going to be enough. So I will probably add in another package somewhere in my pack, whether it's in here or in the side pocket so that I have access to it. A spare ring because I'm never going out with a symbol that I am taking, and quite happily so. So I have a spare in case this one gets caught on something and busts. It is just a silicone ring, but we picked it out together and we have matching rings, and I will always have one. Okay, what's in my miscellaneous bag? Thermarest repair kit, matches, just in case, waterproof. We just bought them a couple weeks ago, so they should still be good to go. Because believe it or not, those things do get unusable. Probably more water filtery things than I need. I have another Sawyer water cap, or just a, that's not a Sawyer cap, that's just a water bottle cap. And then the Sawyer specific one for back flushing and such. And then an extra sports cap. I really had like 4 of them and decided to pare it down to 1 extra. I can have another one sent if I need to. Some tenacious tape. Now that I think about it, where's my Leuco tape? There may be some Leuco tape in my first aid kit. I actually don't remember. I'll have to look at that. There is moleskin in my first aid kit. They've got these little fire starters from work. They were supposed to run for like 15 minutes. So if I get freezing cold and I have to build a fire somewhere, obviously well guarded, these will run and get a fire started even if it's a little wet out. Just emergency, would not use on a regular basis. I am not a pyro. I love people who are. They can get fires started. I will happily sit around a campfire all day long, but I am not a pyro, so I won't be starting them. Also a couple little carabiners for guy lines and whatever miscellaneous comes up. That is a zipper pull for my hammock, so probably gonna pull that out because that goes on my tarp. And I don't have a tarp with me, so that's coming off. I did manage to get my doctor to give me a round of antibiotics. I actually have one for me and one for my son. So when he decides to come out and joins me later in the trail, he will bring his set of antibiotics as well. That way, we get a cut and get a basic infection, lung cough, whatever. I can call up and be like, hey, will this work for this? And they're like, yeah, okay, cool, I'm gonna take it. Just as a precaution, I really hope I never have to use it, obviously. And that's all that's in the miscellaneous bag. And yes, it's probably bigger than I need, and I may end up moving some things into it, but we'll see how that plays out. I already did that one. Water filtration, basic 3-liter CNOC, same one most people have, nothing special there. And then the Sawyer. I also have the cap for that, and then another cap that also has the washer in it. So I have 2 washers here, and I have another washer in the miscellaneous bag. And I believe I have a bag of them, so if I lose 2 of them and need another one sent to me, I do have more in my resupply pack. Okay. Ouch. Poo bag. I just went with the basics. I have bladder issues. It's just the way it is. Just to help prevent some of that. I am bringing a lot of pads with me. I know that means I have to pack it out, but that's what it is. Toilet paper, and there should be a dirty bag in there to pack that out if I can't get it deep enough to bury. And that bag just ripped, so we'll get a new one. I will pack it out if I can't get my cat hole deep enough. Just a shovel and some hand sanitizer. So nothing special there. Obviously, that's way more toilet paper than I will need for, a couple of days out, but I was too lazy to unroll it, so that's what I'm carrying. I do have the Kula cloth for urinary cleanliness, and then I actually just switched this out today. I had the little, I think it was the Pabello was the smaller one, but I don't know if my bladder's just shy or what, but I've been having issues trying to get it to work properly. So today I was like, forget it. We're just gonna go with the big one. I know the other issue was that it's a lot easier to clean, to make sure that it's being cleaned out between uses. Every time I get to town, I can clean it really well. So I went ahead and switched that out today. Excuse me. Water. I'm currently carrying 3 Smart Liter bottles, one of them with the sports cap, but I'm seriously considering dropping it to 2, depending on the water usages. If I need to carry more than 2 liters, I can always carry it in my CNOC. So, you know, honestly, I could get away with 2 of them and just carry 1, but 1 is none, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none, however that saying goes. So, let's see, what else? Got kitchen. Because I am flying, I don't have my fuel, but normally that would sit in there. I made this cozy a couple years ago, and so far it's still holding up, but we'll see if that's still the case by the time I'm done. My hand towel came with a different pot, but it works well for this one as well and keeps it my stuff. I went through a couple of different spoons, finally decided on this cute little Tokes titanium little guy. He's kind of basic, but he works the best. If I was doing a bunch of the freeze-dried meals to where I needed a longer spoon, that'd be one thing, but a lot of mine are homemade freeze-dried food, and so I will be just reconstituting them either in here or in here and eating it out of, you know, these with the spoon. And this is deep enough to, might get a little dirty, but you know, this is deep enough to get out into all of it. I did bring some soap. I know, don't use it near the water. Soap in a scrubby if needed. Quite a few times I'll probably just end up waiting till I get to town to clean it, depending on how well, how clean it is. Somehow I managed to find a bunch of little heads for the electronic toothbrushes, and they work really well and they're really light. So I've got, I don't know, 7 or 8 more of them for my resupply to be able to have more sent out. And I also found a ton of toothpaste powder. This will probably last me for quite some time, but I have a lot of it to be able to be sent out. And at first I had it in my hygiene kit, but because it is scented toothpaste, it needs to go in with the bear bag at night, as well as I'm more likely to brush my teeth when I'm done eating than after I've climbed into my tent for the night. Then I don't want to, you know, spit all over my tent. So to me, it made sense to put it with my kitchen stuff over my toiletries bag. So I have the lid that comes in handy, and then I went with the little BRS, the little tiny stove. It's served me well for multiple years now, and I hope it will continue to serve me well on this trip. It does get a little tippy, so you do have to pay attention to where you set up your stove, but there is that. And then my bear hang system is actually a homemade, let's see if I can get it out of here. I have 2 sizes of the bear bone, what do they call them? Dog bones, for hanging. I'm actually not sure which one I'll end up using. It'll probably depend. And then my ex made me, before he was my ex, made a handle to be able to pull it up into the tree. It is bulky, but it saves my hands a lot. And so, even though it's bulky, I will be taking it with me. It's just 3D printed. And so that is my bear hang system. I am really hoping that I don't have to use it very often, because I am not the best at throwing a bear bag thing. So there's that. Now I'll put that away there. And then I am very, very blessed to have somebody that owns a freeze dryer loves to cook and is a good cook, and is very much willing to make me food. So I will be getting resupplies every 3 weeks. The first week we'll have breakfast and suppers sent to me, and then as well as some extra food to add into the next one. The next week worth of food that I will buy the majority of from town. And then the week after that, I just have to use up anything extra I have to be ready for the next resupply. This looks massive, and it is massive, but this is all the food that I need for 5 plus days, and it only weighs 7 pounds. It is a lot of bulk, and I still am not sure how I'm going to fit it in my pack, but we're going to give it a shot. And Chapter was graciously willing to switch food bags with me. This is the Osprey 20 liter, and I'm using most of it. So he was gracious enough to switch with me because I had a 12 liter and it was not going to fit. So there is that.
For some reason it seems that I like you.
Yeah, he's switching out a lot of stuff for me. Yeah, he keeps buying me stuff and switching stuff out. Like this, the black one technically goes to his kit, but I wanted, but I kind of wanted to be able to go, oh, the big one is clothes, the little one's electronics, the tiny one, and being able to reach in the bag and go, okay, I need the black one, or I need...
She's jealous I got the black one, so she's stealing them one at a time.
There might be something to that. There might be something to that. This came with my kids' pack, actually. It's for their extra straps. But I looked at that and went, that looks like a dirty clothes bag to me. So I ran off with it. It'll also work if you want to pack out a sandwich. A sub sandwich works great in it, except for the liquid will run all over your pack. But it will keep something from being squished.
And then your pack smells like mayonnaise.
It does. It's awesome. So doesn't go with my pack, but it'll work just fine for a dirty clothes bag. My sweat rag also works as a napkin, works as, dew cloth for the tent in the morning, whatever. It's just something I got from work a long time ago and finally found a use for it. Sit pad, it's just your basic one from, I don't know, Amazon probably. Nothing special there. Little tiny knife. I really thought about bringing the one that Chapter got for me for work, but it is pretty big, and I don't use a knife that often. So I'll end up going with the little one just because, like I said, I don't use it that often when I'm out on trail. I did pick up a Hikeman Ultra. I have the white version. Chapter has the black version.
She'll steal my black one.
I won't steal your black one. I like the white one. I do have, I'm going to keep some electrolytes in here. I am horrible about drinking water, which I don't understand why, because I like the taste of water. I will drink water over just about anything except for juice. Juice and water is what I live on. So I don't know why I have such a hang up about drinking while on the trail. Might have something to do with how many times I have to go pee in the woods. But, so I will have those very handy at all times. And trash bag, because you must have...
You don't drink on the trail because you have to stop to drink and you don't want to stop.
I can't actually drink just from, especially with this little guy, I can just squeeze it and drink while I'm walking.
That's a regular size one.
Okay, fine. I meant that little guy. But I have to stop and pee. And I don't want to do that a bunch. So maybe it's a mental hang up as to why I don't drink enough water so that I don't have to stop and pee. But then I end up drinking when I get to camp because I'm thirsty by then, and then I get up and pee all night long. So I don't know what the difference is, but something.
Funny is I drink 3 times the amount of water as you, and I'm still dehydrated.
Yeah, he drinks a lot. Little notebook just for random things, and then Chapter found us some really small pins to go in our bag. More for like when I'm sitting here trying to figure out, you know, resupply points and how many miles from here to there, and, you know, scribble notebook, as well as I can leave notes for my tramily if I need to, or something like that. Another smart water bottle lid, but this one is for driving stakes in. It's been well dented on the top. And I do have air tags. Chapter talked me into getting those, and it was a really good idea. And so I've got 2 of them in my stuff, hidden in various locations. So that if my stuff gets separated from me, either via Slack pack or transportation or anything. Yeah, more of these. I do have a lighter. Normally it would be in here with my kit, obviously, but I am flying and lighters cannot go in checked baggage. So for now, it is in here. Yeah. And I have sunglasses. They're just cheap Walmart sunglasses, nothing special. I did pick up a little tiny thing of sunscreen. I tried to do a little tiny thing of aloe, but they don't bring little tiny things of aloe. You get like 20 ounces. So if anybody has a good source for that, let me know. But Chapter did find some packs of aloe that he ordered off of Amazon, should show up tomorrow. And so I will throw a couple of those in, or at least, 2. That way, if I do manage to get burnt because I didn't apply this, I at least have that to help get me by. There was something else that we were gonna get. No, I don't remember what it was, so I guess I'll go without it. And then I have chapstick for when that is needed. And that's my gear, except for, I guess my pack dried enough that he's gonna send me my pack out. We got the Traverse 60. Chapter and I have the same pack. His is the men's version, mine's the female version. Yeah, he'll have to do a gear video at some point.
I'll do my own.
Yeah.
Sad thing is she won't be here for snarky commentary.
Yeah. Some things that we really liked about this pack was that the brain comes completely off, which is not unusual for a lot of packs, but it does have backpack straps. I am really hoping to slack pack a lot because I am lazy, and if I don't have to carry my pack, then I don't want to. So some people are purists and they carry their pack the whole way, and that is awesome. All the more power to them. That is not me. That being said, will I take blue trails, blaze trails? Yeah, probably. Am I gonna canoe or kayak the Shenandoah River? I'm seriously considering it. Am I gonna bike the Virginia Creeper Trail? Also seriously considering it. To me, it's not for, I'm, diversing here, but to me, it's not do every mile of the AT. It's go out and have an adventure and have fun doing something that I don't get to do on a regular basis. So those are options for me. So slack packing, canoeing, kayaking, bicycle, whatever. I'm gonna go out there and have some fun and do some different things. But that's besides the point. I do have a couple of carabiners on my brain. I had 2 big ones on my shoes. I have 2 little ones of this style that are actually weight bearing if needed. And then I have 2 little lightweight ones for like my hat, wherever it went, hangs off of one so that I can get to it if I need to quickly. I also have 2 little tags that Chapter bought for me. One has a nice little saying on it, and the other one matches his that makes a heart on it. And it has a nice saying on either side. So we match up and we make a heart. So the last trip we did, these clanged horribly on the way back. And so I may put one on each side so that they're not beating up on each other, but they will be coming with me, even though their weight, that's not necessary. It is necessary for him and I. So they will be coming along. Okay, that's the brain. The other thing that I really liked about this pack was the side entrance. That did mean that I couldn't just have one trash bag liner and put all my stuff in there. And everything had to be waterproof bag. But being able to open the pack and just grab the bag that I want is, for an organized freak like me, is awesome. So I went ahead and went with a side entrance pack. Obviously it does have the top part, so I can just shove everything in there if I choose to, but having the side option was pretty much what sold it for me. And it's got the rain cover that comes with it, so I didn't have to buy that separately.
Bottom access.
It does have a bottom access spot. And I may or may not utilize that depending on the day. That pretty much just sits in the bottom, and so it's kind of awkward to get it in and out of because of this little thing. But it's just still another way to get into the pack and get what you need without shoving stuff everywhere. And since I will have a massive food bag sitting right here in the middle, having the bottom access might be very helpful. I did decide the last couple of times that I had too much stuff in my pack, and so I put I hooked my tent and ground cloth here, and just hooked it with this. So that may be what I do, simply because I don't have room, because I have too much stuff. And my rain gear goes in here. Yeah. It does have side pockets. I do have a thermometer. It may or may not last the whole time, but it is nice to know a rough idea of what the temperature is. And then on the other,
Still needs a new split ring.
Does still need a new split ring. Do we have any? Okay, we'll have to get that fixed tomorrow. Umbrella clasp, I don't know that it's gonna fit here. I haven't tried it this way, but I had it down here and it was just digging into my shoulder. And so I'm gonna try it up here and hope that it'll be able to tilt down enough to work, but not tilt down too much. I guess that's the other issue. I think this was a Mountain Bikes one. We did try the one that had the snack pouch in front. I would not recommend, at least not for me. It was just too difficult to get a snack in there, and I'm not sure what honestly you would put in there, because it was just too tight to be able to really get anything in there. So we went back to just the plain one. But I love them. I love having my water up front. Definitely recommend carrying your water up front where you have access to it. That part I definitely recommend. And then of course the Garmin sits up here. And I guess that's all of it. That's, I think, everything that I'm taking. And I will live out of this stuff for the next 6 months or however long I last. And I will definitely do a gear video when I come off trail to see what changed, what didn't change, what my favorite thing was, all that good stuff. But for now, this is what I'm taking, and I will get it all packed up and ready to ship or fly out in a couple of days. And yeah, I guess that's it. Hey guys. I realized that I forgot to go over my toiletries bag. I know that is super important, but you know, just gotta hit it all. Hairbrush, and because I have contacts, I also have the mirror. I really thought about switching to a smaller travel hairbrush that had a handle, but because of the contacts, I need to be able to look at myself anyway. So I just went ahead and stuck with that. Contact solution, because yeah, dry eye is a thing. Contact case, I could put it in with that or with my glasses, but I just didn't. Some Q-tips. These will be more for in town than obviously out on the trail, but I do have some of those. I managed to get a hold of a whole ton of these toilets. What do you call these things? Little towels. Anyway, so there's, I think, 25 in here, which theoretically should be enough to last me till my next resupply box. If I'm using them as fast as I think I will, then I will have more shipped out to me in the next resupply. But we shall see. They are just towels. They don't have any cleaning agent to it, versus wipes usually have some sort of, you know, antibacterial something. So we'll see which one I end up liking better, and I may just switch back to wipes. Nail clippers, because of course must have that. And I have tweezers. That's it for the bag. I have tweezers in the first aid kit if I need those. So I really considered taking some deodorant with me, but I guess I'm just gonna have to get used to stinking. It's the way it is on the trail. Everything I looked at had a scent, and you don't really want to be smelly scent wise out on the trail, because, well, bears are a thing. So yeah, that is the extent of my first aid kit. By the time you see that, or not my first aid kit, my toiletries kit. By the time you see this, if I forgot something, I would have already fixed it. So I would say tell me what I missed and leave it in the comments, but I'm already going to have fixed it by the time you see this, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I'm going with, and we'll see what I end up with at the end of the trail.